The moment we have been waiting for years, for decades, is no longer a prediction. It is no longer a rumor, and it is no longer a test phase. As of the time this video is being recorded and based on live, actionable intelligence coming directly from secured financial channels in Baghdad, Kuwait, and Geneva, the process for exchanging the Iraqi Dinar at its new, revalued international rate has officially, and I mean officially, been initiated. This is not a drill. This is the activation sequence we were told would come, and it is happening right now. The term final day is not being used lightly. It signifies the conclusive transition from a period of intense, behind-the-scenes preparation and strategic delay into the operational window where the revaluation is being moved from the central banking servers onto the floors of designated exchange centers and international bank branches. Think of it like this. For years, we have been watching the builders construct a magnificent, revolutionary vehicle, the RV. We've seen the blueprint. We've heard the engineers talk. We've even seen the parts being assembled. What has happened in the last 24 to 48 hours is that the key has been turned in the ignition for the very first time, and the engine is now running. The vehicle is on, it is in gear, and it is beginning its journey onto the main highway. The information confirming this is not coming from a single unverified source. We are seeing a convergence of confirmations from three distinct high-level streams. First, we have operatives within the Central Bank of Iraq who have confirmed that the internal systems which handle the forex rate have been locked and loaded with the new international exchange data, moving beyond the simulated environments they have been stress testing for months. Second, we have confirmed reports from what is known in the intelligence community as Tier 4B banking sources. These are the ultra-private, asset verification platforms used by high-net-worth individuals and sovereign wealth funds. And these platforms are now showing live, albeit not yet publicly broadcast, activity related to the new dinar valuation, specifically for the purpose of asset-backed currency swaps. And third, and this is perhaps the most tangible proof for the average investor, we have the first wave of communications from official international redemption centers, primarily in the United States and parts of Europe, informing their pre-vetted client lists that their appointment portals are now active and are being prepared for scheduling. This trifecta of confirmations from the central bank, from the elite financial tier, and from the public-facing redemption level creates an undeniable truth. The mechanism has been engaged. The process has begun. The term process is critical to understand here. This is not a light switch that gets flipped, making the new rate instantly available at every corner bank and airport kiosk across the globe simultaneously. It is a phased, meticulously controlled process designed to prevent economic shock and to manage the immense logistical undertaking of converting a currency with a massive money supply. This initial phase is about system integrity checks, about ensuring the digital pathways between the CBI, the International Monetary Fund, the Federal Reserve, and private banking partners are secure, stable, and capable of handling the monumental data flow. It is about the final, real-world calibration. So, when you hear final day, understand it not as a single 24-hour period that ends at midnight, but as the final operational phase before public accessibility. It is the last leg of the relay race, where the baton is finally, after an agonizing wait, in the hand of the final runner who is now accelerating down the track towards the finish line. The starting pistol has fired. The run is underway. The finish line is not a question of if anymore, but a matter of when, and that when is now measured in a very, very short time frame. So what does this process actually look like on the ground? And what can you, as a holder of this currency, expect to happen next in a very practical sense? Let's pull back the curtain on the operational playbook that is currently being executed. The first and most immediate effect of this initiation is the activation of what is known in global finance as a staged release protocol. This means that the new exchange rate is being communicated in a cascading manner, not through a public press release, but through secured financial networks. The first institutions to receive the official live data were the primary correspondent banks. These are the massive international banks that act as intermediaries for smaller regional banks. They have received the technical specifications, the authentication keys, and the compliance procedures required to process dinar transactions at the new value. Concurrently, the specialized redemption centers, which have been on standby for this exact moment, have had their systems synced with this central data hub. Their staff are now undergoing their final live environment briefings. This is why you might be hearing anecdotal reports from people saying their specific redemption center has contacted them to be on standby for a scheduling email or to ensure all your documentation is in perfect order. This is not a coincidence. This is a direct consequence of the process beginning. The next tangible step you will witness, likely within hours of this video going live, is the official rate stabling period. Once the core network of banks and centers has confirmed system stability and successful initial transactions, the Central Bank of Iraq, in coordination with the IMF, will make a formal announcement. This announcement will not be a request for speculation. It will be a statement of fact, declaring the new international exchange rate for the Iraqi Dinar. This is the moment the public screen rates on platforms like xe.com and Oanda will change. They will not change gradually. They will flip instantaneously from the current program rate to the new revalued rate. This is the digital switch everyone has been waiting for, and it is the final technical action of this final day process. Now let's talk about liquidity and accessibility. Immediately following the public rate announcement, the designated primary banks, think of the major, multinational institutions with dedicated forex desks, will begin accepting dinar exchanges for their premier clients and those with pre-existing arrangements. The smaller local community banks and credit unions will follow suit. But there may be a delay of anywhere from a few hours to a couple of days as they receive their specific instructions and software updates from their correspondent partners. This staggered approach is by design to prevent a systemic overload. It is absolutely crucial to understand that during this initial window, there may be variability in the process. One bank might be ready to go immediately, while another in a different state might need another 24 hours to get its systems fully operational. This does not mean the RV has failed or is unstable. It simply reflects the monumental complexity of updating the entire global financial system's software and protocols for a single currency. Your patience and preparedness are your greatest assets during this transition. The system is designed to handle this, and the phased approach ensures that every investor will have a clear, structured pathway to exchange. The process has begun, and its momentum is irreversible. It is now a wave moving through the global banking infrastructure, and it is moving with purpose and speed towards you. With the mechanics of the launch now in motion, the final and most important piece of this puzzle becomes you, the investor who held on through the silence, the delays, and the sea of misinformation. Your role now shifts from waiting to acting, and the actions you take in the next 24 to 48 hours will define the outcome of this entire journey for you and your family. The first and most immediate action is to cease all public discussion about your specific holdings or your exchange plans. Operational security is paramount. The digital world is being monitored, and the last thing you want is to draw unwanted attention to yourself or your assets at this critical juncture. The second action is to verify with absolute certainty the legitimacy of your dinar notes. As this process becomes public knowledge, the market will be flooded with counterfeits and opportunists. You must have your currency checked, preferably by a professional or using verified methods, to ensure they are the correct series, without stamps or markings that could invalidate them. Have your personal documentation, your passport, driver's license, proof of address, and any bank account information organized and readily available. The redemption centers and banks will require a complete and flawless package to process your exchange efficiently. When you receive your notification to schedule an appointment, be prepared to move quickly. Have a plan for which center or bank you will use, know how to get there, and be mentally prepared for the procedure. The process at the center will be professional and structured. You will be guided through each step. The verification of your identity, the authentication of your currency, the calculation of your exchange amount at the new rate, and the discussion of your distribution options. You will have choices regarding how you receive your funds, whether through a wire transfer, a cashier's check, the establishment of a new private bank account, or a combination of these methods. It is highly recommended that you have pre-consulted with a trusted financial advisor and tax attorney to understand the implications of each option. Do not make these decisions on the fly in the redemption center. Go in with a plan. This is not just about converting currency. It is about launching a new chapter of your life built on a foundation of financial intelligence and foresight. The wealth that is about to be unlocked is a tool, and like any powerful tool, its value is determined by the wisdom of the one who wields it. This wealth is a responsibility. It is a means to secure your family's future for generations, to enact positive change in your community, and to achieve the personal freedom you have long envisioned. The final day is not an endpoint. It is the starting line for the rest of your life. The economic landscape of the world is being reset before our very eyes, and you, by your foresight and patience, have a front-row seat and a primary role in this new paradigm. The process has begun. The systems are live. Your time is now.